So actually, coming to history, history is, the advantage of history is like, if you check all the last 10 years, on an average 15 to 20, you expect minimum 15, maximum 20, 22 questions being asked from history. That is an advantage, because if the cutoff is 100 or 110, even 110, if history questions are 15 and you made all 15 questions right, your score is 30. That's a game changer if cutoff is 100 or 110. Now the problem with the history is you have to study ancient India, medieval India, modern India, art and culture, and it is so unpredictable, because several years many aspirants believed modern India has biggest weightage, but last year UPSC reversed the trend. Modern India less questions, maximum questions from ancient, medieval and culture. Now it is always wise, and it's a it's a safer game if you have a good grip over ancient, medieval and modern plus art and culture. Coming to modern, one of the very crucial area in the modern history is freedom struggle. And usually many historians start freedom struggle from 1857 revolt, but organizationally I would say it is from 1885 with the very formation of INC. So 1885 is relevant because Indian National Congress is formed, and General Secretary A.O. Hume, President was W.C. Banerjee. 1885 INC was founded as the political forum for expressing Indians' grievances in front of the British. It is started by, or that idea is conceived by A.O. Hume, supported by Indian intellectuals or educated Indians, leaders, etc. Because starting such an organization by Indians, that is not a wise idea. That could be, in the beginning itself, that could be destroyed by the British. Now A. Hume started, or he given that idea of formation of INC. INC was formed in Bombay. First session was in Bombay. Now INC, what is important? One of the very favorite question of UPSC is you have to go through all the very historic INC sessions, their presidents and historic resolutions passed. For example, Lahore session 1929 is known for the passage of that Purna Swaraj resolution. Also the same session decided to launch CDM. Karachi session 1931. Why significant? Because two historical resolutions passed because of the influence of socialist ideologies and all. There is a resolution on fundamental rights, including rights of women, plus there is a resolution on economic programs and all. So similar way, there are different sessions, and the resolutions passed in the sessions and the presidents of the sessions, they are important. Here in 1885 session, 72 delegates participated. Yes. No, even British delegates also participated. By the time the Viceroy was Dufferin, he given permission for formation of INC. The same guy later described it as the microscopic minority of the people, and it is the sedition factory, etc. Now, from 1885 to 1887, another historic event is formation of Indian National Social Conference. You know, any idea why that Indian National Social Conference is formed?
Because Indian National Congress wanted to be a political organization.
Yes, yes.
Indian National Social Conference was meant to be a social...
Exactly. Indian National Congress leaders treated it as a pure political formation or political organization for dealing with the national political issues, or it is an exclusive organization for the political agitation. So there is no scope for social reforms. So Indian National Social Conference was formed in 1887. Is it 87? 1885, 86, 87. It is in 1887, Indian National Social Conference. It is a separate cell of the INC for the social reforms. So it is the social reform cell of this INC. Then after 1887, what is the next major event we come across?
I think Bengal partition.
Bengal partition, yeah, of course. In between, you can see that there are many, revolutionary organizations being formed, because initial phase moderates followed constitutional methods, but there were some leaders, they were not happy with such constitutional methods. They preferred extra constitutional methods. Some preferred that armed conflict also. Force must be met by force ideologies, etc. Now you come across that 1905. 1905 is Bengal partition. And you know that Lord Curzon is a guy who ordered for Bengal partition on the grounds of administrative convenience. But the real intention was it's a linguistic separation, or maybe this, Bengal, yeah, dividing this West Bengal, East Bengal. That was the political agenda of, breaking the unity of these Bengalis. If the Bengali unity is broken, means obviously it will break the unity, or maybe the integrity and unity of India, because Bengal was that time treated as the cradle of nationalism, and it was the intellectual renaissance. All it's happened first there. So Bengal is known for its that unity, integrity, and all such reform movements, intellectual movements, all started from Bengal. So they wanted the partition of Bengal. That way they wanted this breakdown of, or they wanted this disintegration of India's unity, integrity, etc. Now coming to Bengal partition, that took effect on 16th October 1905. So again we have seen anti-Bengal partition. As part of anti-Bengal partition, Swadeshi, there is a social boycott, economic boycott, or cultural boycott, or maybe goods and services of the British boycott. Then it is spread not only in Bengal, outside Bengal also. So there is Bengal partition, there is anti-Bengal partition, there is Swadeshi movement. Then 1906 is significant.
Formation of Muslim League.
Formation of Muslim League. There is a similar deputation to meet the Viceroy under the leadership of Aga Khan. Finally, this All India Muslim League is formed, and where was it formed? Do you remember?
Yes,
it is in Dhaka, exactly. Organization was formed. It was to protect the secular interest of Indian Muslims, because they believed Indian National Congress is a majority Hindu dominated organization. So the minority interest will be neglected, it will be ignored. So for protection of the secular, socio-political, economic, cultural interest of the Indian Muslims, yes, this All India Muslim League formed. That was the justification given by Aga Khan. Now finally, next important event is 1907, which is a Surat split. Surat split was actually the ideological split of congressmen into moderate and extremist. Moderate believed in the constitutionalism, extremist believed in the extra constitutional methods, passive resistance, boycott, non-cooperation, etc. So that ideological split continued till 1916. We know that, okay. Moderates and extremist leaders are there. You should know what are their ideas, ideologies, how they different to each other. 1907. Then 1908, any important event?
1908.
1908, anything you can make a guess? 1908. 1909.
Reforms.
Yes, Morley Minto reforms, and that is very significant. That has given this legal justification to, or a legalization of Indian communalism. That is by introduction of that separate electorate. We know that.
Muslims.
Yes, that is under this, or in this Indian Council Act 1909. This Minto Morley reforms that become basis for this Indian Council reforms of 1909, Indian Council Act 1909. And in that particular act, the separate electorate for the Indian Muslims first introduced. That was the very legitimate, or maybe that was the legal institution of this, promoting that, or maybe, communalism is legalized by that particular act. Some historians believe like that. Even, the partition of India, there are many reasons eventually leading to partition of India, and one of them, obviously, that was separate electorate. So, because British continuously followed the policy of divide and rule, carrot and stick divide and rule policies, and it is just part of that. So, 1909 reforms, council reforms, especially that act is very important. You have to go through the features of that particular act. Now, coming to 1910, anything?
1910.
Okay, 1911.
Yes, that annulment of
Bengal partition. Yeah, that's of course then shift of the capital, Delhi capital. Yes. Then there were an attempt to kill that Viceroy Harding, throwing bomb at him, but he saved. Revolutionary activities are also going on that time. Then you know that it is 1913, there is a formation of this Ghadar party. That is a revolutionary organization. When you study revolutionary organization, some are formed within India, some are outside. Yes. This was in United States of America to San Francisco, Ghadar party. Then they have a magazine which is Ghadar. That also promoted secularism. It was published in various languages of India. And the leaders are also of different communities. And what was the intention of Ghadar party? They wanted to train a group of revolutionaries, want to send them to India and fight this British and liberate the mother nation. That was the basic intention. Then
revolution activities.
revolutionary activities. I mean, they wanted to organize or induce the spirit of revolutionary or militant nationalism. They want to train revolutionaries outside India. They wanted to send them to India and fight British and liberate nation. Now the thing is, there is an incident which is associated with the Gadar party, or which promoted Gadar party. That is Komagadamaru incident. Komagadamaru incident 1914. It was a Japanese steamship carrying these Indian immigrants or Indian workers to Canada. Many wanted to migrate to Canada, and most of them were Punjabis. And why to Canada? Because for better living conditions, working conditions, etc. But unfortunately, because of Canada had many Asian exclusionary laws and all. So when this ship arrived there, they the police officials banned these people, or maybe they didn't allow these people to enter the harbor or enter the port. Yes. So almost 2 months they remained in the ships. After that they just returned to mother country. When they reached this Badge harbor, there is police encounter and many people shot and injured, and because these, when they returned, Indian police or maybe this British police here, they felt that these are revolutionaries, Gadar party revolutionaries. So that further, I would say that popularized the Gadar party or Gadar party revolutionary activities, etc. So that is 1914. Then after that there is 1915, which is that there is Gandhiji and Garvapasi of Gandhiji. 1915, especially Gandhiji's South African experiences, Satyagraha success after his return, and he toured across India to study the conditions of Indians. Then his formal entry, what was Gandhiji's public entry? Yes, Banaras Hindu College. Yeah, that it's university. Banaras University. Yeah, it's inauguration ceremony where he made a public appearance or speech, etc. Then Gandhiji, before entering into national politics, he become the leader of some localized movements. There is Chambaran Satyagraha. Chambaran Satyagraha is where he applied his civil disobedience for the first time here. Chambaran Satyagraha is there, which is against Teen Katia system. Yes. There he stood for the plight of these indigo cultivators, forced indigo cultivations, etc. Then oppression by the European planters, etc. So Chambaran Satyagraha, that is 1917. Yes. 1918 there is Kheda Satyagraha and the Ahmedabad mill strike. Okay. So after which there is 1919. Yeah, this Sydney Rowlett committee was, they submitted a report, that is to check into the revolutionary activities or this growing militant nationalism in India. Then this Sydney Rowlett committee submitted a report, and finally according to that, an act was passed, that was Rowlett Act, Anarchical Revolutionary Crimes Act or Black Act, which banned this freedom of press, freedom of expression, and anybody mere on grounds of suspicion could be arrested without warrant and put in the jail without a trial for 2 years. 2 years. Rowlett Act, which is totally infringement of the human rights and fundamental rights, freedom of speech, etc. Against that act, Gandhiji organized the first ever his India's national satyagraha, that was Rowlett Satyagraha. Okay, so Rowlett Satyagraha, do you think it was a grand success? Your opinion? It was a grand. Can we say that it was a grand success?
No.
Not completely. Okay, fine. To some extent, you can see that it organized the mass. There is large scale mass mobilization, participation of the women, students, and all category. But the problem, and it was his first India's first ever Gandhian Satyagraha. We know that. National level Satyagraha. Now the problem was, after the first phase, you can see there is large scale escalation of violence and all. Gandhiji wanted to be strictly non-violent Satyagraha, but after some times we can see violences, and finally Jallianwala Bagh massacre happened. People gathered in the Jallianwala Bagh garden for the Baishagi festival celebration, but unfortunately General Dyer, he already issued that court-martial law in Punjab. When people gathered, because he put a ban on this gathering and these public meetings, etc. And we have seen these General Dyer ordered for that firing Many people wounded, many people killed. Due to that incident, Gandhiji finally suspended this Rowlatt Act agitation, or that Satyagraha. And the same year is also known for, but 1916 again you see that after 1915, 1916 there is a HRL and this Lucknow Pact. Lucknow session, Lucknow Pact, and this Lucknow Pact is for the first time both the Congress and Muslim League, formally agreed upon one idea, that is separate electorate.
Sir, around the same time,
Hindu Mahasabha also.
1915.
Hindu Mahasabha. Hindu Mahasabha actually, the similar way you can see that it is to protect the interest of the Hindus. There is an organization, Hindu Mahasabha. Muslim League, that is again for protecting the secular interest of the Muslims. Hindu Mahasabha for protecting the secular interest of the Indian Hindus. That way, those organizations being formed. Now the thing is, and both the organization, one similarity is like they almost try to remain very loyal to British. By remaining loyal to or making an alliance with the British, they wanted to acquire maximum reservation representations in the various government bodies, educational sectors, civil services, etc.
Both the Muslim League and Hindu Mahasabha.
Hindu Mahasabha. But they extended their loyalty to British because they believed that is one of the best means, to get the support of the British and get a reservation or maybe a representation in the government bodies or maybe councils, etc. Now, and fluctuations are there. They mostly remained loyal. They mostly, even though there are agitations, we can see that on crucial situations, they remained neutral to these INC agitations, or they remained almost silent in some national politics, etc. We have seen that. But somewhere they supported also. For example, Simon Commission agitation. Simon Commission agitation. In various activities, you can see that these organizations, sometimes they remained neutral, sometimes they remained supportive, sometimes they remained silent. That you can see throughout the history of 1920s, 30s, etc. Even coming to that Quit India movement, you think they remained supportive or silent?
No, they were neutral, or they didn't support.
Didn't support. So these concepts are there. So 1916, I said that is the first time the Congress and League jointly agreed for separate electorate until this joint electorate is demanded. And just go for Lucknow Pact provisions, they are important for you. Now 1919, there is this Chelmsford reforms. That is what is called Government of India Act 1919. Shall I say that this is for the first time this power between the center and state is demarcated? Can we say that like that?
Yes.
With the 1919 Act?
Yes.
Yes, a central list and a provincial list. Okay, so again, this is the same act. Can we say this is the same act where this diarchy or this provincial list or provincial subjects got splitted as transferred and reserved for the first time?
Yes. Diarchy
was introduced in the 19. So go for 1919 Act reforms. Separate electorate is further extended. Separate electorate extended. Then you can see that this bicameralism. Which bicameralism?
Bicameralism in the central.
Central bicameralism, or bicameralism introduced upper lower houses in the center. Then the separate electorate extension. Then you can see that there is expansion of the councils. Then this what is called a division of the subjects. So go for the major recommendations or maybe provisions of that 1919 Act. Also, we should know why this national leadership opposed that 1919 reforms, because there is no introduction of that particular self-government dominion status, nothing is there. Then coming across that 1919 end and 1920, which is Khilafat non-cooperation. You should go for why that Khilafat non-cooperation, why Gandhiji decided to take up a religious issue into national politics, and to what are the different opinions raised by these congressmen, why eventually Congress agreed upon this idea of Gandhiji, and how this Khilafat non-cooperation, they marked next level like mass mobilization, mass agitation, and the results, and why it was suspended. 1922 to go to suspended due to Chauri Chaura incident, and how or what kind of what were the far-reaching impacts it made in the national politics or national scenario. That also you have to go through. Then it is similar way from 1920 to 1930, 1930 to 1940, 1940 to 1950. You see all those decades are important for you. as far as the prelims is concerned or history is concerned, you know. So I would say just go for all these decades, especially the freedom struggle from 1885 till 1950 is important for you. Just revise them, just go for the major events, just try to understand what are the, you know, the cause and effect strategies, the causes and consequences of major you know, ordinances or major events or major episodes. Just go for the cause and effect, and that itself is way of revising that freedom struggle part of the history. Okay, that's it.